Brought to you by Lianas Senior Transition Support, helping you navigate home care and senior residences.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. And life changes indeed, as we've all experienced in the last 4 or 5 days. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. My name is Matt Del Vecchio, specializing in life transitions, downsizing, and the senior living industry. Coming up on the show, imagine being diagnosed with lymphoma, which is a form of blood cancer, at a very young age. We're going to be speaking with Luka Ferraro and his mom about his courageous journey and the feeling of reaching a remission milestone almost 13 years later. And on the second half, I'll be talking to the mayor of Beaconsfield, and I'll also be talking to the mayor of Pierrefonds Roxborough to get the latest updates from the West Island. And I'm going to be opening up the lines to hear your stories. That will be in the fourth quarter. You know, the show is called Life Unrehearsed, and we are indeed in the midst of a Life Unrehearsed event. There have been some incredible gestures by our listeners, just simply trying to help out their neighbors and in the community. We want to hear your stories. I want to wish everyone a very happy Easter and happy Passover for those that are celebrating. Well, I guess you could say this is one for the ages, isn't it? Whether it's a Seder by candlelight or an Easter egg hunt in the dark. Must have been a little interesting for some of the kiddies this morning. But, you know, there's still a lot of vulnerable people out there. You just heard the news from Tom Whalen. We're making progress, but let's hope we get power restored as soon as possible. All right. Now, Luka Ferraro was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer. I can't even imagine what this meant to him, as well as his parents, upon receiving this news. And we have Luka on the line, along with his mom, Roselle Gonzalez. Luka and Roselle, are you there? Welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Hi.
We're here. Hi.
Okay, very good. Glad you can both join us. Well, let me first start. I believe, Roselle, you're in Beaconsfield. Did you get your power back?
We got our power back yesterday. Thank goodness.
You did. Well, good. I'm glad you did. I'm in Beaconsfield. Still no power.
I know.
But, you know, fingers crossed, because I know, you know, as we all try to get through this, patience is wearing very, very thin. And like I said, we're very fortunate to be able to have family around, but there are still those vulnerable out there. And so I'm glad you got power. However, this might seem like child's play after having gone through what you went through. And Luka, I want to bring you in right away. How old were you when you were diagnosed with leukemia?
I was 5 years old at the time.
5 years old at the time. And I understand it was a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer. What was it called?
It's a Burkitt's leukemia lymphoma.
Yeah, so not the standard one, which is a concern. I guess at 5 years old, you really don't know what's going on. And Mom, Roselle, you do know what's going on. I just can't imagine. What was your reaction when you received the news?
Oh, complete and utter shock. It's not something that you expect at all. So it was very devastating. It was very devastating.
Yeah, and you know, Luka's 5. Did you have any other children at the time?
I had Jonah at the time, who was 2 years old. So we were, you know, new parents. We were like hit with a bus.
Wow, I can't imagine. You know, you and your husband, Sebastian, and now you have 2 kids.
3.
Well, now 3, that's right. And at the time, 2 kids with a third on the way afterwards. Now, Luka, how did you get treated, and how long were you actually in the hospital for?
Well, I was in the hospital for a total of 9 months.
Oof.
I believe each one of those months was a separate round of chemo.
Wow. So in the hospital for 9 months straight, getting chemo. And like, you know, at 5 years old, you don't know what's going on. And you're in this hospital all this time. Roselle, I'm thinking of you as a parent and just wondering, you know, how you held it all together, seeing your son going through this and still managing the family with your husband.
I mean, it was not easy at all. I could say that I was surrounded by lots of support, family, friends. I had an entire community helping us get through that. But no, it was extremely difficult. It was very difficult, you know, mentally and physically at the same time.
Listening to Life Unrehearsed, Matt Del Vecchio here, and I'm talking with Luka Ferraro and his mother, Roselle Gonzalez. Luka was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer at the age of 5 years old, spent 9 months in hospital, and Luka, after you were released after 9 months. Now, I'd love to know about, first of all, when you had to go back to school, what was that experience like?
Well, I was very lucky in the way that my parents never told me I had cancer. They told me, Luka, you're very sick. This is going to be hard, and you will get back to life, and back to everyday life soon. So when I came back to school, I didn't see myself as very different. I just thought, hey, I was sick, I came back, and now I'm here with my friends again. And I think from a mental standpoint, the fact that I didn't think I was different made it so that I was integrated very easily. I've always been a very social kid, and I just went back to talking to my friends, and I was very lucky that they treated me just like anybody else.
Well, it's so interesting and also so good, because in a way, sometimes ignorance is bliss in a sense, and you were treating it just kind of, okay, this is what it is, and you're heading back, and thank goodness you're a social type person because you seem to have fit in right away. And so 9 months in hospital, back at school, I'd love to know, you have to get checked up every now and then. So what has to happen there? Are you getting semi-annual, annual checkups?
Well, in the beginning, it's very frequent, almost weekly, and then it goes, multiple times a week at the start. And it goes down to weekly, and then maybe bi-weekly, and then monthly, and then from year to year, it's slowly decreased until this year we are at my final treatment, my final appointment, which was my last yearly appointment the last couple of years.
Wow. And congratulations. That's what, 13 years, I guess, 12, 13 years. And I guess that was your final one at the Children's, and God bless the Children's. I know, Roselle, you speak so highly of them. We're going to talk about some of your fundraising efforts. Luka, were there any side effects from this leukemia?
Well, the largest that I had to think of is I lost vision in my left eye. I had the Burkitt's leukemia was imagine behind my nose, so pressing onto both my optical nerves, and it was blinding me for a large period of time. They managed to save my right eye, but my left eye, the vision was lost. After that, maybe I was a bit more frail for a while, but the recovery was quite clean and quite, luckily, good for me.
So lost vision in your left eye, and that never returned, right? You're still, I guess, legally blind in the eye?
Yes.
Okay, and your body adapts as you have done it. I'd love to know now. You're how old now? You said 17, 18?
I'm 17 years old.
17, and how are you feeling after that 13th year remission appointment? How you doing?
I feel I feel great. I'm lucky. My family took very good care of me. They feed me well. I played a lot of sports growing up, and I've taken care of my body.
Yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit about the sports growing up, Luka. For you 5 years old going through this, you get through it, and a lot of poking and prodding, I'm sure, and yet, you took it as normal. And what did that affect your sports, and what type of sports did you play?
Early on in my life, I played soccer, and it wasn't my favorite thing, but later on, I found basketball, which I really loved, and rugby or volleyball. And there's always ways we could adjust for me. For example, rugby, I played the equivalent of what's like a running back in football. And by positioning me all the way on the left side of the field, we negated my blind spot, essentially, because the blind spot was off the field.
Mm.
So there's always ways we could adjust. And again, I took good care of my body. I was always happy to play.
Just excellent. Talking with Luka Ferraro and his mom, Roselle Gonzalez. Luka had a rare form of blood cancer, and we're talking today who got the final checkup just a little while ago and in remission. Roselle, real quick, we have to head out to traffic, but I know this whole experience must have shaken your family, but it also perhaps was a silver lining, and I know you and your husband started, I guess, a new company with having a new vision on life, I suppose.
Yes, I think that the experience was like a real catalyst for change. Sebastian and I made a huge change in our lifestyle. We left our corporate jobs and we decided to open up a wellness center in 2014. It's just a way of us to say thank you to the luck that we had, that our son was able to survive. And we felt we wanted to do something that would, help people live proactive, healthy lifestyles, because we know that because of our lifestyle, we were able to survive that, physically and mentally at the same time. I have to stress the word mentally.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And you have done far exceeded thank yous, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of your wonderful fundraising. And I know you're a very proud mom. I won't put Luka on the spot. Roselle, I'm going to put you on the spot after traffic, but Luka is a fine young man. He's received an award or two, a lot of public speaking. We're going to hear all about that. But first, let's head out to the CJD Traffic Center and hear from Marty Lamar.
Life Unrehearsed, brought to you by Lianas Senior Transition Support, helping you navigate home care and senior residences.
I'm Matt Del Vecchio, and I'm talking with Luka Ferraro and his mother, Roselle Gonzalez. Luka was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer at the age of 5 years old. Luka is now 17 years old. He, as you heard just before traffic, had his last checkup and is in full remission 13 years later. I can't think of a better appointment to have, as you would imagine, as you, Mom, Roselle. I know you're a very proud mom, as you should be. I won't put Luka on the spot. I'm going to let you take the kudos for Luka. He is just an incredible young man doing a lot of public speaking, and I understand he was also recipient of an award.
Yes, since 2011, our family and our community, we've been really supporting the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And at the very beginning, I was, the one who would be speaking and doing all of the speaking engagements. But for the first time this year, Luka started doing the public speaking himself. This year, he spoke in front of at a conference that was like a medical conference. I think it was at the Sheraton downtown, and he won an award as the Young Ambassador of the Year for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. The award is the Matthew Schreindorfer Award, and I think that's really meaningful to us because Matthew Schreindorfer was someone that Luka met a couple of years ago at the Light the Night Walk, which is a big fundraiser walk. Anyways, Matthew Schreindorfer unfortunately passed away a few years ago. We have a picture with him, and it's meaningful to us.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Luka. And good on you. Public speaking is not easy, especially at a young age, and so well deserving of this award. I understand, Luka, you have several passions, and one of them is a band. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, throughout my life, I've always enjoyed kind of just diving headfirst into different activities, and I've always really loved music and sports and dance. But over COVID, me and my best friend decided, hey, let's give this a shot. So for maybe the last year or so, I've been just recording music on my own with my best friend, and releasing it whenever we can. It's been really, really nice.
Well, good, and good for you. I know your family is really a creative nature. What's the name of the band? Let's get a little plug for you, and maybe you're going to hear a little bit. What's the name of it?
The band is 20 Minutes Till Sunrise.
20 Minutes Till Sunrise. Well, a little birdie told me about this band, Luka, and we looked it up. We're going to play a little bit of Signals, and let's hear.
Just too caught up, and I'm missing signals. Jumping on silver line and falling for under my head. I can't see what's in between.
Not bad at all.
Awesome.
I don't know if I picked the right chorus for you or not there.
Perfect.
All right. Well, you know what? I looked that up this morning on YouTube. It's over 270,000 views. So good for you. 20 Minutes Till Sunrise. That's a song called Signals. And love to hear that after what you've gone through with leukemia and hearing your creative spirit. And I know for a fact some of that creative spirit comes from your DNA, specifically your mom. Very, very creative. I'd like to hear about some of these incredible fundraising efforts over the years. Roselle, can you tell us about them?
For sure. So, like I said, we've been supportive of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society since 2011. We've raised probably 175,000 plus since that time. And we get the entire community involved. My community at Énergie Encore, which is my health and wellness center. I have, yoga teachers doing these karma community yoga classes throughout the entire year. We have done big outdoor yoga classes, Zumba events, movies in our backyard. We've done all different types of things over the years, and it's been a real pleasure to be able to give back. We're very, very, very very grateful. Very grateful.
Well, grateful, but also very giving. Roselle, you are out there in social media. Can't imagine. It's $175,000. Congratulations. Good for you and your entire family. And still raising money after so many years. Luka, I'd love to hear you. Look, 17. What's next? You've got the band going. Anything else in your life?
I'm just trying to live in a way that I enjoy right now. I'm not too focused on any massive goals. I'm having a lot of fun doing what I do right now, and I'm just going to follow that stream of pleasure and just have fun with it. I don't want to stress myself out too much with life.
Yeah, no, you've had your tad of stress in your life already. Talking with Luka Ferraro here on Life Unrehearsed. Luka's with his mom. Luka had a rare form of blood cancer at the age of 5 years old, 9 months in hospital, and now in full remission at the age of 17 years old. Well, Luka, enjoy yourself. Roselle, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your company that you started, a health and wellness center called Energy Encore. You had obviously this family event with your son. This really changed your perspective on life, and tell us a little bit more about the reasoning and the raison d'être for Energy Encore.
Well, I mean, when you go through something like this, that you want to be able to kind of just be grateful for time. I think time was really important, and my husband and I had very hectic corporate jobs. And we just, at the time, we said we don't want to, if there was any dream that we had or something that we wished to try to do, life is too short. Mm-hmm. Life is too short. So we've got to try it now. And a lot of our friends, a lot of our, people who are watching us thought that we were so brave to drop the security that we had in our corporate jobs and to do something that everyone felt was very daring, risky. But we did it. We've been in business now for 9 years, and it's a passion project of mine. I love it. It doesn't even feel like work for me. And I think I did that to show my kids that life is too short and that you have to go for your dreams and believe in yourself. And I think that that's what I learned from the experience with Luka. Luka is and that's why the kid has no stress in his life. He's a very happy-go-lucky kid who just tries everything. And I wanted to embody that. I wanted to be an example of that, to never have any regrets and to be able to connect with people. I think people, that's so important, to be able to do something that you love every single day and to be surrounded by people who uplift you. It's very important.
Absolutely, Roselle, and good for you for having the guts to leave that corporate world and just think what you've been through with not just this ice storm, but you were talking pandemic, and you're in very much a B2C, business to consumer, and a lot of yoga classes, and that got affected and really had to persevere. You obviously have perseverance in your family, starting with Luka. Luka, again, congratulations on being remission free, and best of luck with the band and everything else in your future, Luka, and really wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
And Roselle, again, thank you for coming on here on a Sunday, sharing your family story. I really do appreciate it. And if people want to find out about Energy Encore, how can they reach you?
They can just find us online, Energy Encore. It's Énergie in French, and then Encore, like in your body. So Energy Encore, C-O-R-P-S. I don't know if that's
right.
I don't know if that was very clear, but Energy Encore. Look us up. We're in Pointe Claire.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you to both of you.
Thank you so much, Matt, and happy Easter.
Yes, thank you. You as well. That's Luka Ferraro. Had leukemia at 5 years old, 9 months in hospital. That's his mom, Roselle Gonzalez. Real feel-good story, a true Life Unrehearsed story, and we want to thank both of them for coming up on the show. Next up on Life Unrehearsed, I'm going to be talking to the mayors of Beaconsfield and also the mayor of Pierrefonds, Roxborough, with the latest updates, including the status of some of their warming centers, and we're also going to talk about some of the feel-good stories out there. There's been so much negative out there, and a lot of it justified. There's still a lot of people in very vulnerable situations, but we're going to turn the tables a little bit. We're going to take time to breathe, kind of the energy core with Roselle, and we want to hear about some of the heroic stories, and some of them could be very minor to some, but helping out the neighbors, helping out the community. We're going to open up the lines after the 4:30 news, and we want to hear about your stories and what you've heard about people helping others. And that's going to be coming up after the CTV News Update.